that is Kelvin's statement, that is it is impossible to get continuous supply. It is impossible to get continuous supply of work by cooling the system to a temperature of lower, that is than the coldest of the surrounding. Fourth statement is that it is impossible to convert all the heat energy absorbed to do the work without any dissipation of energy. Dissipation of energy means radiation of energy. So these are the statements of this. So all the statements follows that whatever the amount of heat energy is absorbed, it is impossible to convert all the heat energy into work, because during this process some heat is radiated. That is why the complete conversion is impossible. Now coming to the entropy. Entropy is the disorderness of the system, that is the randomness of the system. So in that cases what happens, whatever the amount of heat energy is absorbed, with the respect of the temperature, the entropy can be explained. That is due to randomness of the system, means that is due to disorderness of the system, because in the whole universe so many things are working together, so that the energy of the system increases, whereas the randomness, due to the randomness also increases, so that it is the expression in which the whatever the heat energy is exchanged in a reversible process at a temperature, that gives the entropy. It is designated as S, and Q is the amount of heat that is absorbed with the respect of temperature. So it is the reversible system. So it is defined as the amount of heat exchanged in a reversible process at a temperature T, that is, it is a state function. It is a state function because it only depends upon the initial state and the final state, or we can take it that is the total entropy of the system as we can obtain it, that is the system and the surrounding. So in case of system, S total, that is S of the system plus S of the surrounding. What is that? So, in that cases it is also expressed as, that is the amount of heat or enthalpy, delta S by T, enthalpy of the system depending upon the temperature. So, in that cases delta S, it is the system, sorry, it is the reversible process that can be taken as T, and in case of surrounding, that is, it is taken as the Q by T, that is surrounding. So, that is, this position is the negative charge. Therefore, the delta S of the total, that is the sum of the final state, that is Q reversible by T to AB, if you start, that is B to A, or we can take, this is the sum of the dq upon T. So, the total entropy is the sum of the initial state, the entropy of the initial state and the entropy of the final state. If you can observe that this equation in terms of state 1 and state 2 at temperature T1 and T2. So, Q1 is the amount of heat absorbed in the reversible process, heat absorbed in the initial state. T1 is the temperature in absolute scale of the initial state. Similarly, Q2 is the final heat at final state, and T2 is the temperature of the final state in absolute scale. So, if we are considering the change in heat or change in entropy of the system, that is Q2 by T2, if it is taken positive, that should be equal to Q1 by Q2, that is negative. So, that the total that is Q1 by T1 plus Q2 by T2, that should be equal to 0. So, the sum of entropy Q by T, that should be 0. What does it mean? That the entropy, that is the summation of all the terms from initial state and final state, the change in entropy of a reversible system is, in a cyclic system, is 0. So, that is the statement of the entropy, and if you change the system from A to B, that is, it is taken as delta S total is the integration of dq by T from A to B, if this, and plus dq by t from B to A. It is negative sign, you can take it, that's the sum total will be 0. So all the terms, whenever you are considering the entropy, that is the randomness or disorderness of the system, and the total entropy is the sum of, that is the system and the surrounding, as we have stated at the beginning. So this is the entropy of the surrounding or system of a process. As you have already come across that it is a state function. State function means it depends upon the initial state and the final state, and the initial state and the final state both are dealing with the randomness of the system. Now coming to Gibbs free energy, considering the second law of thermodynamics. Gibbs free energy, as we have come across the entropy. Entropy is S, enthalpy. Enthalpy is H, and temperature in absolute scale it is considered as T, and work performed it is expressed as W. So considering all these things, Gibbs introduced another term, free energy, Gibbs free energy, that is designated as G. So free energy is G, which is mathematically expressed, G is equal to H minus Ts. H is the entropy and T is absolute temperature, H is the enthalpy, T is absolute temperature, and S is entropy. Entropy, temperature and enthalpy. Enthalpy is the heat content. So if you take two states means if state 1 and state 2 or initial state and final state, then we have two energy, that is G1 and H1 minus T into S1 at constant temperature T. Similarly, G2 is H2 T into S2 at the temperature constant temperature T. So two states, initial state and final. So the change in energy delta G is equal to G2 minus G1, that is equal to H2 minus T into S2 minus H1 minus TS1. So taking H2 minus H1 minus taking T common, that is S2 minus S1. So you see that there is a change in enthalpy, we can take it delta S minus T, there is change in entropy delta S. So Gibbs free energy, change in Gibbs free energy is the change in enthalpy minus T into delta S, that is a change in entropy with respect to temperature T. So this equation is also known as Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. So considering this Gibbs free energy, we can establish the how the spontaneous reactions is taking place, and or the spontaneity of the reaction can be considered from the Gibbs free energy change. So, as we know, delta S total is equal to delta S of the system plus delta S of the surrounding. We have already discussed in the case of entropy change of the system and surrounding. So, as we have considered the change in heat with respect to pressure, we can take as delta S of surrounding, that is equal to the amount of heat at constant pressure with respect to temperature T. Therefore, as we know, QP is delta H or H. H is taken as the enthalpy, or it is change in enthalpy, like that. So, delta H is the change in enthalpy, that is the whatever the amount of heat absorbed at constant pressure. This is the, so that delta S total can be expressed as delta S of the system plus delta S by T, that is surrounding, or multiplying temperature to both sides, T into delta S total, T into delta S of the system plus delta H. That is the, so what is that? This T system and delta H, it is what? That is, as we have considered this delta S of the system, or what is that? That is the surrounding. We have to take, that is a minus sign, sorry, minus sign, negative sign is that. So, it is. So, in that cases what happens? If you take the negative sign to the outside, so minus T into delta S total, that is equal to delta H minus T into delta S of the system. You see that this quantity is known as Gibbs free energy, or that is equal to delta G, which is known as Gibbs free energy. So, Gibbs free energy is giving a negative sign, means that is decrease in the free energy with respect to temperature. So, delta G will be negative, therefore, delta G is negative. If negative, then it is termed as heat absorbed, sorry, heat formed. Delta G negative means it is a exothermic reaction and heat is generated. It is exothermic reaction, that is heat is generated. So, why there is a change in free energy with respect to temperature? So, considering these things, we have to find out what is the conditions of this change in free energy as a negative sign. So, we can write delta G equal to delta H minus T into delta S. This is the free energy change, and delta G is negative, as we have already discussed. The delta G is negative. In what conditions? In which conditions this is negative? So, if it is negative, means the process is spontaneous, that is delta G is less than 0, the process is spontaneous. If delta G is positive, that is delta G is greater than 0, that means this is not spontaneous, this process is not spontaneous. If delta G is 0, delta G is 0 means this process is in equilibrium. The process is in equilibrium. Equilibrium means the reactant and the product of a process, chemical process, that should be no change in free energy, that should be that change in free energy is 0. So, what is the conditions for delta G is negative? Conditions for delta G is negative. Delta G is negative, the conditions. So, as we have already mentioned or established T into delta S. So, in that case, first condition that is, if delta H is negative, if delta H is negative and delta S is positive, what happens? This is negative, this is positive into minus sign, this is also negative. So, total delta G is negative. Therefore, delta G is negative and the reaction is spontaneous. The process is spontaneous. Second condition, if delta H is negative and delta S is also negative, both are negative, delta H and delta S are both are negative. So, ultimately the final delta G is also negative. Delta G is negative means it is also spontaneous. Third thing, if delta H is positive, and delta S is also positive, delta H is positive, delta S is positive, it is a negative sign. What is the negative sign? T into delta S is more negative. If delta H is less negative than that of T into delta S, then this process is also negative. Then if T into delta S is more than that of delta H, then delta G will be negative and this gives a spontaneous process. So, all the three conditions are there. In that cases, the delta G is negative, that means it will give a spontaneous reaction, and the spontaneity can be studied considering this delta H and delta S values, depending upon the delta H and delta S values. So, ultimately the G's change in Gibbs free energy should be a negative quantity to have a spontaneous reaction, that is a irreversible reaction. So this gives the spontaneity of the reactions. So now deriving Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. As we have already, delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S, as we have already seen. But we know that delta H, that is the heat content, H is equal to E plus PV, E plus PV. Now taking the Gibbs free energy, G is equal to H minus T into S, or in place of H we substitute this value E plus PV minus T into S, that is. So completely differentiation of this equation at constant temperature and pressure. So delta G is equal to dE plus PdV plus VdP minus T into ds S into dt, that is complete differentiation. E plus PdV, that is dQ, and TdS, it is also dQ. From where? That is the entropy change, ds equal to dQ by T, that is the entropy. So or T into ds equal to dQ. So substituting this value, P into dP minus this plus S dt. So dQ cancelled. So V into dP minus S into dt, that is equal to dG. So complete differentiation of this equation we have obtained. So now we have the conditions at constant pressure. So dP equal to 0. So at constant pressure, dP equal to 0, then dG equal to minus S dt or dG by dt equal to minus S. So we have obtained a general equation, that is the negative value of entropy is the differentiation of free energy with respect to temperature, absolute temperature. Now if we have two states, so that is at constant pressure, two states, that is state 1 and state 2. So in that cases what happens? So we have obtained that dG1 equal to S1 minus S1 dt, that is at constant temperature. Similarly dG2 is equal to minus S2 dt at constant two states. So differentiation of 2 G2 minus G1 equal to minus S2 minus S1 by dt, or that is minus delta S dt, or d delta G equal to minus delta S into dt, or d delta G upon dt at constant pressure, it is minus delta S. So minus delta S is equal to differentiation of delta G upon dt at constant pressure. So substituting this value in Gibbs equation, that is delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. So in place of delta S we have to substitute this value delta G. So delta G is equal to delta H on substituting. So it is minus T into minus d into delta G by dt at constant pressure. So it is equal to delta H plus T into d delta G by dt at constant pressure. So that is Gibbs-Helmholtz equation, or it is otherwise expressed in terms of the free energy change. So this equation is the Gibbs-Helmholtz equation as we have mentioned it. Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. So delta G is the change in free energy, delta H is the change in enthalpy, and T is the absolute temperature, that is 0. So in that case we can obtain that limit delta H by dt when t tends to 0, that is equal to 0. Or limit t tends to 0, that is delta G of dt at p, that is also 0. So in both the cases we obtained the limit when absolute temperature tends to 0, the change in the enthalpy upon the temperature should be 0. So this expresses the Gibbs-Helmholtz equation considering the enthalpy change and the free energy change. Now we have to come across the third law of thermodynamics. Third law of thermodynamics, that is considering the crystalline state or the pure crystals or solid state. So in that case what happens? So we have obtained d delta G by dt minus delta S. Similarly, delta H by dt at constant pressure, that is equal to the delta Cp, that is heat capacity at constant pressure. This is change in entropy, this is heat capacity. At constant pressure, this is obtained from the second law of thermodynamics. So what is that? If change in enthalpy heat capacity is tending to 0, that means at absolute temperature the heat capacity, the product and the reactant, heat capacity of the product and the reactant in solid state should be identical. So if Cp tends to 0, heat capacity tends to 0 at absolute temperature. Absolute temperature means at 0 Kelvin. (0 degree Kelvin). So in that case, the heat capacity of the product and the reactant in solid state should be identical. The heat capacity of the product and the reactant are identical. Identical means similar. What does it mean? That means when the heat capacity values tends to 0, that means there is no orderness, that is there is maximum orderness, no randomity is there. That is why any solid substance at absolute temperature, that gives a completely fixed, that is there should not be any randomness. That means the atoms or molecules are in perfect order. That is why it is taken as the reactants or product at a solid state is 0, or it is having no change in the entropy. That is why we have obtained that delta S is also tends to 0. That is, all the molecules or atoms are in perfect order. So all the atoms or molecules present in perfect order at absolute 0 Kelvin, absolute temperature, Kelvin or temperature. So this is known as third law of thermodynamics. So it is defined as the perfect crystal is that at absolute 0, temperature, absolute 0 temperature, each atom or molecule must be at a crystal lattice, must be at crystal lattice point and it must be lowest energy, and it must be in lowest energy. This means that the crystal is in perfect order. That is, the crystal is in perfect order. There is no randomness, hence the entropy is 0. Hence the entropy is 0, because there is no disorderness of the crystal. That is why the entropy is 0. So this is the third law of thermodynamics, and it is defined in the way. So this is the third law of thermodynamics as expressed from the first and second law of thermodynamics. Thank you.